our chief guest, Professor Lanka, and also guest of honor, Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Mrs. Lanka, and also all distinguished members, ladies and gentlemen. Today, actually, we have witnessed Sri Lanka Biotechnology Association establishment. And with this presentation, what I'm hoping to do is to show what scientists can do for this country. And for example, here you have one of the best known scientists in the world, Marie Curie. So she won Nobel Prize twice in different fields, especially actually chemistry and physics. So you can see she has actually defied gender barriers and also created herself as a legend by sacrificing her life. How did she sacrifice? Actually, what happened was she was irradiated to radioactive elements so many years during her research, and then even her coffee has to be covered with some lead lining to protect others from exposing to her body irradiation. So it's in Paris right now. So you can see her notes even all radioactive. So you can see scientists can go that far to sacrifice their lives to have such a perseverance, determination and transformation to have some scientific discoveries. Same thing actually what I have noticed during my tenure here in Sri Lanka. I saw two leading giants in the field of biotechnology, Professor Marie Fernando and Dr. P. Udogaman, coming forward with their dreams and asking us to also join in their dreams and asking us to do something impossible, that is to bring biotechnology to Sri Lanka in a cutting-edge world, and then make sure these innovations will materialize in the industrial sector, which is very hard. Commercialization is the hardest one, and again, not to mention about the marketing and other aspects associated with the commercialization. And then they had a vision. That vision was to build a dynamic and sustainable bioeconomy through biotechnology, advocacy, and fellowship and connectivity. So with this vision, actually what they have experienced was a mission. So we all actually thought this mission is to serve as a vibrant, symbiotic interface for the biotech innovation ecosystem in Sri Lanka through promoting biotech education, research, entrepreneurship, and industrial advancement. So this vision is not simple, and it's very complicated and also very difficult unless we all join together. So that's where they came up with this Sri Lanka Biotechnology Association. So Sri Lanka Biotechnology Association will lead the way for you all to create this environment for both academia and industry to work together. So why we need another association? Actually, Professor P. has answered that question quite well. We need a platform, practical platform, with a government approval for us to move ahead with the proper innovation field. So without that, we cannot actually get the biotechnology innovations commercialized. Why I am saying this? Because I have done the similar things. How I know how difficult it is to make an innovation and then commercialize it. So SLBT Advisory Board initially compromised of Professor Sirimakan Kumar and Professor Sirmali Fernando and Professor P.T. Udagama and myself decided we should actually create that environment with this association. So then the council was, of course, you got to know now who are the council members and all that. So is formed, and also other committees have been already nominated and appointed: executive committee, sectoral committees, statutory committees, and then you have special committees as well. And there are other subcommittees as well. I'm not going to repeat all these things because it's already been repeated. So all these subcommittees, now we have members and also presidents and also leaders who can actually lead the way for us to have a better unity in order to serve the industry. So what I have noticed was there's a vacuum in industry where they don't get the recognition. They have a lot of red tapes coming from different various organizations as well as regulatory bodies. So I know Coconut Development Authority is one of those regulatory bodies as well. So we regulate and we export about 25,000 containers. During my tenure, I made sure our quality assurance and quality controls are so good. So our returns are only 0.01%. And that's also due to other factors other than the QA/QC. So why I did that? Mainly because we have to introduce technology. So that's why I collaborated with China very closely in getting their technologies to Sri Lanka and transferring that to our industries. So I always tell my industry, especially with the CDA, to work with the scientists. Then they ask why, because they don't understand us. They don't actually deliver anything for us. And what they do is something out of this world. We cannot market it. So those kind of separations really create a problem for innovations as well, because they don't like to recognize that as innovation that can be pragmatic enough or marketable enough. So there's a disunity between these two groups. I have practically experienced this with these 25,000 containers we export every year. So I know they need these technologies, but we are far apart. We are not united yet. So what I'm going to say, coconut being one of the leading export crops in the country, we need to make more revenues. Even China has about $7 billion coconut market compared to Sri Lanka. We are still at 800 million US dollars forex earning sector. So why is this so? It is mainly because most of our production, about 3 billion coconuts, out of that 1.8 billion is used in domestic level, and then the rest 1.2 billion or so we export. But last year we changed that. We told our domestic users to go for other products. Meaning, reducing the wastage. You might be surprised when we look at the coconut market, for example. I can tell you the main leading export revenue generation comes from coconut shell. Nothing to do with the kernel here. So coconut shell, and then second place is actually coconut milk. Third place is again the husk, because they make a lot of substrates. So our activated carbon we are making from coconut shell actually has the highest revenue generation in the world. In a way, we have the best coconut activated carbon in Sri Lanka, and we have Vasanta here from Heka, who is the pioneer in that technology. So how many researchers are here can contribute to Heka to develop some new technologies? Because they don't do those kind of research. They don't understand coconut shell is more valuable than actually all this research we are doing in Sri Lanka. So, so we have to identify the source where our research will be focused on. You might have done all proteomics, genomics, and all these research, but when you come to Sri Lanka, you have to be practical, you have to be pragmatic. So, what I want to show you is with this environment, our objectives should be very organized. I don't have to read from here. So, anyway, so objectives. Sorry about that. So anyway, you can read it. So I'll go through it. But anyway, these are the different objectives. They're too small for me. I'm very old. I just have my birthday. So these are different objectives, but they are all we are looking at the different aspects of how we can deliver and make the industry more vibrant. So, when you look at the dawn of AI-aided biotechnology in Sri Lanka, we have a lot to do, especially when it's come to the bioprocess optimization industry and also metabolic engineering, production efficiency, bioremediation, especially, these sludges we have, that's what we have done at the Lanka Sugar Company. So we have seen the sludges, with the environmental pollution. And so we want to find a solution for that, and then those solutions come from innovation. Again, new innovations for the different subjects I require. So these are the areas we have to identify and find the solutions. They are very difficult, and also nobody is attending to them at the moment. Even there are palm oil structures, coconut structures, and these things are still out there polluting our environment, right? So if you have those solutions, you can even go for other countries like Malaysia and Indonesia, where they have all those structures issues as well, if you have pragmatic solutions. So precision farming is very important, especially in agriculture. Genetic analysis and breeding, these are also new cutting edge AI-aided biotechnology that we want to introduce. And also supply chain optimization techniques, and also biochips and so on. So where do we get this technology from? Where do we have the AI technology? Actually, when we visited China, of course, both ministers from our plantation ministry visited with me, and I can tell you what we have seen is completely automated, AI-driven factories. There are no people and only computers. What we are seeing is on the rolling zone, people are using forks to just get the products distributed. That's it. So that level of factories or manufacturing plants can be established in Sri Lanka as well. Why we need that? We have a labor shortage. Sometimes we get the labor from India, Bangladesh, and so on. So therefore, we need to find new solutions. That's why biotechnology is very important. Technology, you think, is in one angle, only relying on what we do at the moment in the factories. No, it's always evolving. So that's why the AI technology has come forward, and still today, practically, when you want to go for these AI biotechnologies, you tend to ignore the importance of research. Now I can tell you the importance of the academicians. Why we need to have our professors and doctors joining with us in this adventure. Because actually, when very first time when people are proposing different genetic engineering or synthetic biology or making the whole bacterial genome or synthesizing the whole genome of bacteria, people would laugh at you, saying that why would you have to do that? Imagine there are genetic engineering technologies that are out there. Within a matter of 24 hours, they can produce vaccine molecules, or even if you want to have a heme production done within a few hours. So many things can be done with this bacteria once they genetically modify. So that's where we have seen why America is leading the way with these kind of innovations, where they modify the organisms to carry out a certain task that we are hoping to achieve. And genomics and bioinformatics are very important for those kind of innovations. So these advancements are actually we did not see it as Sri Lankans, but the other countries have used it, and that's why they are making a lot of money. If you look at all these companies in the US, for example, Apple, Microsoft, Google, even Tesla, all are multi-trillion dollar companies. Why it is so? Because actually they have believed in innovation. They are all science driven. They are all biotechnology driven. You may not believe how much money they can make by having these innovations. So that's where, if we don't bring industry together with the academia, we will not see these innovations making money. So in order to do that, you need a lot of understanding between different parties, especially in our country. What I see is there's a disunity, misunderstandings among, because it's human behavior, I think, it's a problem, because I studied the macaque behavior. That's kind of easy to understand, but kind of hard to understand the human behavior. So it's very complicated. So what I see is, like, we all should understand one thing, if you come together, we can do this. But if you actually have other opinions, like let's say, I'm a scientist and these industries, they don't understand my innovation, that kind of motion is not going to work with me. We have to bring the industry people and work with them based on their needs. So that's the key component. So when I took over even CDA, what I thought was I should listen to them first, because I could be a good scientist, but if I don't want to listen or learn, if I am not the student at the beginning, then I will not be able to deliver anything for them. So far we have succeeded so many new innovation introduction as well in our sector, especially we have solved many issues, even we had a lot of oil issues, especially importing low quality oil and so on. So those loopholes we have identified and we fixed them, and the government has accepted it. So these are without politics. We don't bring politics into our organization, and also we want to make sure we deliver things scientifically and with the logic. So similar way, I can see that RNA-based vaccines, when they produce, there was a doubt. So that's where the Pfizer and these other vaccines came out, and we eliminated COVID. It was very quick. It went from lab to directly to human application, and that is very rare and never been approved by FDA before, because it will take generally about 10 years to discover a new drug. But in this case, what we are seeing is direct application. So the trust in scientists is very important. So then again, we did not see these things coming in AI form also. So AI farming and other agricultural applications also very important. So again, academia and industry and AI interface is not an easy task. And this is a very difficult thing to do unless you understand the trends in modern biotechnology, and especially at AI interface. So bio prospecting opportunities are there, and also R&D development should be channeled to address those as well. And also biopiracy concerns, that means, if you lose your resources, you're going to lose everything as a country. So why I say that is because of this reason. Because entrepreneurs and businessmen, they are different. So businessmen want to actually just make some money. But the entrepreneurs see innovation as a way to make money with the unique inventions. And then their goals are very much changing the world, like the Apple or Microsoft and all these companies. Their goals are to change something through innovation, and therefore they are always succeeding. So we have to create entrepreneurs, not the businessmen. And by creating entrepreneurs, they are willing to take high risk, and also they will create new markets that will give us the real bioeconomic boost. Then comes the way how we actually look at our resources. We have two ways we can look at our resources. This is my way of looking at it. We have a gene pool, and then also we have a molecular pool. So gene pool is something we want to protect. Why? Because it's ours, and this is Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka Biotechnology Association should come forward and protect our gene pool. So if we lose this gene pool, we don't have advantage of innovating new things. So what I meant was like when you give Ceylon spices or pure cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon, GI branding, I think we need that. And also we should protect our molecules. If you remember the Kotalin brew, what happened was when the Japanese were stealing our Kotalin brew, they were not stealing Kotalin brew plant. Actually, they were stealing the molecules. They were stealing salicylol, propanol, geraniol, 13-MRT, those molecules they store. So we have to protect our plants so that they cannot steal our molecular pool as well, right? So this is why GI based branding is very important. Then second comes the molecular pool. I mean, there are countries, the biopiracy we can talk about all day long, but molecular pool is the main target for many countries. It's not the trees they are after the molecules. So our Ayurveda, for example, is 1,000 years tested in clinically as well as time tested. So we know it is a direct human application has been done for thousands of years. So if it's clinically tested and thousands of years we have been using it, then imagine the value of that molecular pool is huge. But do we understand the importance of the Ayurveda? I don't think so, right? So we never understood Kotalin is that valuable until Japanese steal our molecules. So these two things, even minerals is the same story. You all know graphite and you know silica and everything. So even now we have phosphate. And how do we create that conducive environment for our entrepreneurs to make money from these two big pools? One is gene pool and the other one is molecule pool, is something we should understand. So our Biotechnology Association aim is to actually go for that core value understanding based on the market trend. We don't want to do something that has no market out there. When we want to commercialize, that's why all those objectives, which I didn't read out for you, but you can read it later. I think they have a website, very beautiful website. But once you complete those objectives, we discuss day and night, why we should bring the industry and the industry and academia together to create this conducive environment to protect all these important pools we have. So what I see is like, if you can do this, it will create it will create an approach that will give us the real boost. We can be like Singapore. I believe that. But you have to know, this is their raw materials, industry's raw materials. So when I tell our coconut producers, we are gonna get this Ceylon coconut name. So we already did some elemental analysis with the Atomic Energy Agency. And now we are doing the gene mapping, and also ITI, I'm hoping to do proximal research and primary and secondary metabolite analysis. So I'm going to do those things to confirm our team coconut. We know it's native to Sri Lanka, as you all know, and then coconut also same. So being the chairman of the coconut development, I can see the value of Ceylon coconut GI name. So we need to have that. So similarly, there are a lot of other things, especially like, let's say you go to Singharaj, you see all these beautiful flowers, and then you can smell the aroma, and you don't understand how valuable that aroma molecule is. It's very valuable. It's Britney Spears' obsession will be that aroma molecule. So we never see it in that way, right? So that's a multi-billion-dollar project which we can cultivate in Sri Lanka as much as you want, because it's native to Sri Lanka. It's not illegal for you to have a tissue culturing done and doing the expansion. So Those are the things, we have to understand the value of the molecular pool we have, right? So everything has some value, but when it's come to identify that as scientists, we should do that with the help of industry. So that unity we should bring. And then our association has created several categories of membership, and these members are entitled to the exclusive use after their names of the respective affiliated designation as appropriate. So this is where we want to actually help you to recognize your members of our association, and therefore these categories will be available for you all to achieve the task. Way forward for our association, we want to establish the SLBTA, and then we want to have a parliamentary act on Sri Lanka Biotechnology. This is Professor Raman's and Professor PP's vision, and I want to support that. And also today, what we have done was creating a new book. I don't know whether you know book is coming from Star Trek, so I like Star Trek. I remember in 1982 when my father worked first television, it's called Telefunken from Germany, and it's black and white. Okay? So we were watching Star Trek. So I was very fascinated, and then this has this book, which is basically assimilating different living organisms and creating some sort of a hybrid that has the ability to understand the culture, knowledge, and they get the intelligence, everything of the different assimilations. So I was thinking that is exactly what we need as a nation, not the jealousy, professional jealousy or industrial competition or anything. We need this assimilation as a unity for us to succeed as a country. So in order to do that, today we are assimilating our nation into our own biotechnology collective, which we call SLBTA. So I hope we are here not to do politics. I never did the politics in my whole life, even though I've been here 10 years. I'm Sri Lankan. I still can vote with a green card, but I never, changed my citizenship, so I can still vote, but I never did that. For one reason, I'm not encouraging you to not to vote, but I'm saying because I want to do independent scientific work for the country. So as a scientist, I feel I should keep away from politics, but do more towards the industry. Why? It is important for us to understand when you don't have red tape, when you don't have this thing, but you bring the right industry to the academia, that combination, actually you can create new environment like in Singapore, or even if you take China. Matter of fact, we can bring the real development. What I believe is we have to keep away from certain disruptive forces so that we can bring these two together without having any interferences. So red tapes, matter of fact, these things are created by different regulatory authorities. Coconut development is one of the regulatory authorities. So I told them one thing: we will be facilitators. We will not be inspectors. Our inspectors are all inspectors. So they go to factories and they can shut down factories. That's what I'm talking about. We will never shut down a factory. We'll help them to get the ISO, we'll help them to get the GMP. We'll make sure their exports will go to other countries and no returns will come. But we know that's how we should help the industry. We want so many different things to happen in certain ways, but it will not happen unless we take the initiative as leaders, because we are educated people. Educated people should be humble enough to accept the reality. Because reality is with the industry. They are facing a lot of problems because of all these unnecessary red tapes and unnecessary behavior of the officials. So especially government officials, we have to create an environment for them to have that understanding. So once we educate them, because my organization, I do that, I educate my staff, I bring UNIDO, IFC, even other granting agencies, including ADB, and train them. Training is the best way to go. So when I joined CDA, there wasn't a single person with a PhD, but they had a lot of masters and also bachelors. But I told them you have to go for even the PhDs, because you have to have an organization, especially a government organization, that understands the gravity of the situation on the ground level with the industry. They cannot go to industry and tell them what to do if they don't have the right training, right? So inspectors special. So these are the things I have seen. So therefore, what I want to do is disassimilation our nation into our own biotechnology collective. That is a kind of work in maybe Sri Lanka Biotechnology Association. I want all of you to join us and create that collective. So we together will move forward in our biotechnology. Thank you.